Hi, Aid here from RevMonkey with my monthly series of the best cars to buy at auction online coming up over the next 1, 2 or 3 weeks from the time you watch this. This is May's version of the series, and I've got some rather special cars again to show you, which I think you can get at below market value, as you always do at an auction. Now, I've spotted some right rascals, including a few of my favourite cars, a few that have made my list of my 25 cars that I wish to purchase at some point in the near future. As always, for each car I go into a few details and I come up with my own target price, which I believe that you can get into comfortably to enjoy the car and should be able to get out of it without losing any money over a shortish period of time. Now, the price that I put up here does include the commission as part of the purchase, i.e. if it's 6% commission from the company that has the car and you buy the car for £100 grand online, it's £106,000 you're actually buying that car for, plus VAT on top of that as well. There are other special M4s out there like the competition CS for example, but this M4 GTS, going back in time, remains a very special, really track focused car, and it came with some options as carbon wheels. This one hasn't got the carbon wheels, but it's got 6 days left to go as I film this. £30,000 currently bid. Let's have a look at my sheet of death. Now, I'm thinking a target for this price is around £75,000 to £80,000, which will get you in this car at very good stead. Now, there's a couple for sale over £100,000 of the GTS, quite a rare car, not many made at all. Now, there's one car for sale, 82,250, and it's still for sale and from a dealer, hence my valuation at 75 to 80. But my belief is this is a really special car. It ticks a lot of boxes. It's a competition sort of special, it's a popular marque, and it's built in rare numbers. That all adds up to a car with good long-term investment potential. Plus, you get to enjoy it a lot in the short term. This one, with only 2,225 miles. I mean, if it went above 80 and heading towards 100, it wouldn't surprise me. But if you can get it 75 to 80, you've surely got a great car in your hands. Next up, one of my favourite cars. Yet to own one, driven a couple. Quadrifoglio. Now, I'd always said if I was going to get one, I'd get one in the 8C paint or competition red. However, last few years at events I've started to see this magnificent green colour. Recently I've seen it on kind of the GTA and GTAM paired up together, looking at dog's nuts. Now, for Americans that just means very, very good. This one's a 2022, so quite a late one. Now, I valued this one myself, I reckon at 47 to 50 grand. 47 to 50 for a 2-year-old car with under 10,000 miles, 9770. That's a decent pickup. You have to bear in mind though that the earlier cars, the 2017s, are going around the 26,000 to £28,000 mark, which means in 5 or 6 years you could expect to have this car valued at around that level. Depends on the mileage of course, but this is a premium sort of colour, so you might get away with it. But at worst, that's 4 or 5 grand a year depreciation, which is still a lot better than most cars. So for a car to enjoy, sounds great, goes like stink, good kudos, Quadrifoglio in that colour. I think that's a decent buy if you can get it between 47 and 50. It's unusual for me not to have a GT3 in my series of cars. It's just a car that shouts from the rooftops about how special it is. Hugely popular car with the press and individuals who have been lucky enough to buy one. Of course, you very rarely get one new. You've got to go into the aftermarket. Now, on the auction market, you've got half a chance of picking up a decent bargain GT3. This is a 991.1 version GT3 from 2014. There's a couple of dozen for these for sale, around the 88 to 92,000 mark across the usual classified websites. So I'm thinking if you can get this between 80 and 85,000 pounds, you're looking very good. Yes, the market's deflated at the moment, but to get into a GT3 in the right colour, which I believe silver always has been, then I think you're onto a long-term winner, and you have a lot of fun in the short term as well. Next up, something completely different, a replica car. Now, I've featured a couple of replicas, and in my heart I feel a replica is kind of fraudulent and should never be done. And you often see the Datsun-based 250 GTO replica doing the rounds at the events that I go to. It looks fantastic. In a similar way, this looks fantastic, and it gives people a chance to see this car when otherwise they might never see it. So I think if it's an honest replica, what I mean by that is it looks the part, sounds the part, and the owner doesn't display it as a C-type, but as a C-type replica or recreation or resto mod. That's absolutely fine with me. It's a pleasure to see these sort of cars, and you can still imagine what they must have been like to have been driven at places like Le Mans. Fantastic car, C-type, superb looking car. The genuine articles go for millions, so why not get yourself into a replica? Now, this is a 1965 made by Proteus. Proteus made about 260 of these cars, all based, I believe, on the XJS, which gives it a V12 engine. I've looked for the pictures. You can clearly see that this is a V12. There's 6 bank of 6 cylinders there. There's a bank of 6 cylinders there in a V formation. I mean, it's going to sound good. It's going to go very well because this car's going to be a lot lighter than the XJS it was based on. Just get a few more pictures. Interior, as you'd expect it to be, Spartan, but that's true to form. They were very Spartan interiors. Don't forget, this was a race car, but I do like the touch of the authentic looking steering wheel with the wooden surround. I mean, that is one good looking car. The attention you'll get at that driving up to events. And of course, it gives you a chance to talk about the real car, but let people enjoy seeing this car for what it is. Wow, I mean, look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. In my notes, I've said 80 to 90,000. Now, you can see he's going over £100,000, but that might be with the aluminium bodied one only. But I'm waiting details on this car. It's still too early. It's a coming soon car, so I'm not sure on the actual makeup of this car. 80 to 90,000 is about the right sort of price to get into it. Next up, an Integrale. At least they've spelt it right on the site. The amount of times to put an R in the middle of Integrale. Right, now, this has to be the best looking 8-valve Integrale I've ever seen. Now, it's got the authentic wheels from that period, 1988, which, remember, is the start of Lancia's domination. And remember, it's this car and the 16-valve and the Evo 1 which dominated that World Championship for that 6-year running spell. The Evo 2 with the catalytic converter added later wasn't actually a car that ran. But you still get Evo 2 prices slightly higher because a lot of them are limited editions. But doesn't this look a cracker? So it looks to me that it's got an Evo bonnet. It looks like it's wider. It actually looks like it's got a lot of Evo bits on it. I haven't looked at it in any great detail, and it's coming soon, so you don't get the full analysis of the car. But I have to say, it looks to dog's bollocks. I mean, it's not far off looking as good as an Evo, is it? Now, the Evos have this is a bit wider, and it's got a little duct there, which does make a lot of visual difference, but still, this does look good. It's good that they haven't been tempted to put the Evo wheels on it. So for authenticity, at least some of it is there. Cracking cars. Now, these have been going a few years back, about 15, 20 grand on this site. I think this really now is a car that's comfortably 20 to 30, and it has good potential for going up. I think one day this will be 50 plus. If you've got a decent mileage one, in decent nick, that's been looked after properly, then this is a good buy. So 59,000 kilometres, wow, that's like 30 odd thousand miles. That's brilliant. Of course, it's left-hand drive. They all were. And more importantly, it's had a recent service with the cam belts done and other ancillaries. So I just see this being a really good pickup. Don't go mad, but if this is even at 30 grand, I'd be tempted with how good this car looks. But 20 to 30 is the absolute target price. Well, next up, 7 days to go. Already a few bids on it, up to 7,800. This is a C5 variant, 2003 Audi RS6. Now, they actually were called Avants because back in that day, would you believe it, there were RS6 sedans, or saloons as we like to call them in the UK. So RS6 Avant, now this is in dark green, a dark metallic green, fabulous colour. And I must admit, I'd be tempted to build this car myself. It's a workhorse, it's still fast. Okay, it's got less than 400 horsepower, I believe. Let's have a quick look. No, I was wrong. 444 brake horsepower, 444, which is DEF in Chinese, synonymous with DEF, I should say. So perhaps they're not ideal, but there you go. ZF gearbox, just under 94,000 miles. It's a Goodwood green, so a truly English colouring. Fabulous car, under 100,000 miles. What do I put for this one? Yeah, I put 12 to 14,000 as being a great price to get into this car. You won't lose money buying a car for this price. In the market, on the classifieds, this particular era of car is quite rare. You get the next era up, and a couple of these going really between 15, 16, 18 sort of £1,000. And obviously some of the mileages go well above 100, and you shouldn't be scared of a mileage of 100 on a German car built this well. So I think that's a decent buy, 12 to 14 all day long. I mean, what a car to go around in. Family car, stick the bike in the back, the seats down, got a dog, stick that in the back. It does everything. It ticks every box. It's a car of great kudos. If you can get an RS6, 12, 14 grand. That sounds good to me. Right, next up, a Porsche 911 Targa 4S. Now, this is the same car that was in my April series. It's still there. Now, I'm not sure whether they delayed the launch or it came on, didn't meet reserve, and have just relisted it. I don't know the answer to that. I wasn't watching it day in, day out, and I missed the actual auction itself. But it may be it just always was this long. I just picked on it because I love this car. One of my favourite 911s. I think generally, as I said in the other video, it's one of the best looking 911s ever made. It's just got most fluid, uncomplicated looks. It's just beautiful. Now, I still maintain that if you can get this car for £37,000 to £40,000, that's good, because the killer on this car, as he goes to close it down, is that it's only done 11,000 miles. That is super low. I know the problem is 35 to 40 grand does put it into Gen 2 category, which are actually better cars with less problems, less to worry about. But this is such a low mileage car. If you're only going to use it for weekend blasts, it will retain superb value as being one of the best Gen 1 cars out there. It's also a very nice livery. Well, now for something different. On the Iconics site, we've got 1988 Peugeot 309 GTI, but it's been maximised effectively into a rally special. A huge amount of work's been done on this car. It looks really good. Now, normal, decent 309 GTI is now going from £15,000 to £20,000. But look at this. I mean, it's a proper competition car. It's got the full works, speedos, roll cage, seats, engine work done. Click on the link for the full details. Almost like it's got my Integrale wheels on it. What's that about? Just noticed that. How funny. I mean, speed lines is actually what they're called. I mean, it's devoid of any Peugeot. I mean, I'd be tempted to put little kind of little white little stickers on it to say that it's a special car. I mean, I'll probably call it a 309 Rally, stick that on the back. But what a cool car to get into. Now, they've got it as a buy it now because it didn't sell in auction. It's got a buy it now at £46,000. Now, when you look at other competition special cars and look at the details online before you go any further with this car, they're going for 50 to 200 grand. Okay, it hasn't been raced, but it's race ready. You can use this in lots of events. It looks really good. And I think it's worth a consideration. Yes, you get some amazing cars out there for that sort of money, such as an R8 V10 Spider. But if you're into a kind of these sort of rally special cars, as I am with my Integrale, then I think this really stands out as a car that's well worth looking into. Next up, quite rare, an E36 M3 Cabriolet. This is the Evolution, which makes it a lot rarer than the standard car. Now, they've got a guide price of 16 to 20. I thought that might be a touch high, given that it's got 98,100 miles. So I pitched this, I think, really 14 to 16k. 16, I think, is absolutely fine to get a car, which would be great for the summer. Because this is an Evolution model, and being much more scarce, I think you've actually got good long-term potential for this to never go down in price and perhaps creep up a little bit. I think these extra rare versions of decent cars in the first place are always going to do well and always be the ones that people aspire to own down the line. Don't forget, you're going to get a lot of people now who kind of grew up with this car and admired it, who are coming to an age where they want to buy this car of their dreams back when they were young. So that kind of pushes the price up, and you'll see them disappearing and the price goes up further. Right, next up, one of McLaren's best ever cars. I think this is a real sweet spot, and it's not silly money. 765 LT is mad, stupidly fast and very expensive. The 675 LT is over £200,000 and is out of reach of most people. Well, this is out of reach of most people. Now, they've got a valuation of 155 to 165. And the reason for that is, because that's quite high, is that it's done less than 2,000 miles. That makes it very special. It's got lots of MSO extras, including the special paint. Oh, it's such a good car. It's got such huge kudos. It's many people's belief that the LTs and even especially the 675 and the 600 cars are going to be great long-term prospects and investment vehicles, for want of a better word. However, I still think that's a little bit high. I reckon I'll see this car going for 145 to 150. I mean, 155 will currently get you into a dealer supplied 600 LT Spider with some carbon packs. To my mind, that is a good buy, 155 grand. So I think 145 to 50 is the right price for this. However, if you really want a low mileage 600 LT non-Spider and you're going to keep it for a long time and you're not going to put silly miles on it, then this obviously remains a decent purchase at 155 or so. Right, you know I like to throw in an old classic car every month, and this month is no exception. This one is an affordable one. If you want a baby Ferrari without Ferrari running costs, this is it. 1979 Fiat 124 Spider. Now, the 79 models were the last ones made, and they came with a 2-litre engine. Before that, it kind of went like 1.8, 1.6, going back in time. This one's in a very attractive, I'd say a sought after colour in the Zero Blue, with the contrasting cream and leather. Fantastic car. Look at this, look. Just have a look at it. It's got the proper wheels, really fantastic period wood interior. I mean, I'm just skinned at the moment. I've got to sell one of my cars, which is the same story you keep hearing me say. Otherwise I'd be bidding on most of these cars myself. I mean, look at it. Oh my God. I mean, at events, driving around the country, Chromodora wheels, that's their original ones. Fantastic. They've guided it at 12 to 15. My thinking is, just get it. Just bid on it. If it goes to 15 or even above, just get it anyway. Do a bit of due diligence. Look on other classic car sites out there to see what others are for sale, what they're being priced at. Have a look at the mileage, have a look at the condition, have a look at what's been done recently, and if any refurbishment has been done in the years beforehand, before making that decision. But if you like this colour and you like the provenance, just get it. You can't go wrong. It's going to be a fabulous car. It's not going to go down in price. It's easy to maintain. Any mechanic will be able to work on this car, no problem at all, should it ever go wrong. Right, last up, another car. I'll have 2 cars on my list. The fabulously looking and attention-grabbing Clio V6. Now, this is the one where they took the Clio, stuck the engine in the back from a V6 Laguna, changed the gearbox, so it's a manual, rare-engined V6 Clio Coupe. Now there are 2 generations and they've got one of each for sale at Classic Car Auctions coming up. Be quick. I believe this one's 1st of June. You've got a Phase 1, which is at 230 horsepower from 2001, guided at 25 to 30. And you've got a Phase 2, which is uprated at 255 horsepower, guided at 30 to 35. Now, I'd have the Phase 1 all day long at 30. I don't think you can go wrong. This car is going to go up and up and up. You see some of these cars with lower mileage going for 75 grand. This, in the 30s, these are bargains. Stone cold bargains. If it ends up, any of these cars up in the 30s, just get it. I would buy this Phase 2, definitely at 35 grand, all day long for the money right now. It's one of the cars on my list of 25 I want to buy, so I was going to buy it anyway. It might car I'd keep for quite a long time. I see this car being flipped in the short term for 50. I really do. I think I'd be tempted to get this car at 40 if it was lower mileage. Let's look into the details. 52,000 miles. That's about right. If it was in the 20,000s, this would be 50 plus. Which just shows you though, but you have got potential in this car to go up more. Go into details again, look at it, do your own due diligence on it, look at what's being done, what needs doing, check out the forums, what might come up in the future, but 35 grand, I'd have this, absolutely have this car. Also, this is right-hand drive. The other one, which should be quite a bit lower, being a Phase 1, is left-hand drive. Wow, wicked, although that one's done less miles. Well, I'll leave it there on that car. I mean, what a wicked car, isn't it? I mean, it's not that it's pretty, it's that it's attention-grabbing in an Aventador sort of way, which is also a very unpretty car, but just arrests you immediately with how it looks. You see this car, and you see how wide it is, how squat it is, how low it is. You know something's not quite right. That's not a normal car. Look at that. Fabulous. And that's what I like in the cars I buy. I like rare cars that look out of the ordinary. You never see me having a car that anybody else has got. I mean, you know, I'm looking at, I buy any rare cars only. That's just how I like to feel with a car. Wow. Manual as well. Can't go wrong. Epic. On that note, I'll leave you with it. Don't forget, all the links to all these cars are down below, so you can have a look, see what they went for, have a bid yourself, hope you acquire one of these cars. If you've got any thoughts on these cars, drop a note down below what you think. Are my prices right? Are they wrong? Are they way out? Would you buy that car if you had the money right now? Let me know down below. Right, drive safe, ride safe out there, aid out.